Did you know in Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Nick Fury's tombstone includes a quote from Ezekiel 25:17, a reference to the exact verse Samuel L. Jackson cites in Pulp Fiction? The Winter Soldier turns 10 today, so here are some things I bet you didn't know about it. Writers Marcus and McFeely initially wrote flashbacks to Cap during World War II, but eventually dropped them from the script as they became too unwieldy. They also considered putting Hawkeye in the movie, but didn't have enough for him to do, so rather than give him short shrift, they just cut the character completely. Co-director Joe Russo also said that Jeremy Renner's schedule wouldn't allow it. When the writers reportedly couldn't figure out the final act, it was Kevin Feige who suggested they bring down S.H.I.E.L.D. Prior to the Russo brothers being hired as director, F. Gary Gray was also in contention to direct the movie, but he withdrew his name and opted to make Straight Outta Compton instead. Feige hired the Russo brothers after seeing their work on the Community Season 2 paintball episodes. Sebastian Stan wasn't sure if he'd return after the first Captain America movie, and only learned that the sequel would be titled The Winter Soldier from a friend who was attending San Diego Comic-Con in 2012. Chris Evans reportedly trained in parkour, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, karate, and boxing for the movie, because the Russo brothers thought that Captain America would have studied and mastered modern fighting styles and techniques. Steve Rogers never holds or uses a gun throughout the entire movie, but he's sometimes seen with a holstered pistol on his belt. Sebastian Stan did 5 months of training for the movie and practiced his knife skills every day with plastic cutlery. He also studied about the Cold War and KGB brainwashing as much as he could. Marvel didn't let Anthony Mackie read the script before signing on. Mackie also trained for 5 months doing twice-a-day workouts and eating 11,000 calories a day. Colby Smulders studied Taekwondo for the role and went through firearms training to perform some of her own stunts in the movie. Frank Grillo reportedly signed a 7-movie deal with Marvel, but has so far only been in 3 Marvel movies and 3 episodes of What If. They initially tried to age Haley Atwell with makeup and prosthetics, but the visual effects team wasn't satisfied with how it looks, so they used CGI instead. Future Marvel stars Michael B. Jordan and Karen Gillan unsuccessfully auditioned for the roles of Falcon and Sharon Carter, respectively. The city of Cleveland gave the production a $9.5 million tax credit to shoot the movie there, and allowed them to shut down 3 miles of highway for filming. Many of the shots of Washington, D.C. were created digitally due to flight restrictions over the city. In the film, Nick Fury talks about his grandfather being an elevator operator, and in real life, Samuel L. Jackson's grandfather was an elevator operator. There are a couple of references to Robert Redford's real life in the movie. A jar of Newman's Own can be seen in Pierce's fridge. Newman and Redford were friends. And All the President's Men can be seen on Steve Rogers' bookshelf. This movie is Gary Shandling's last live-action film role. Cameos in the movie include Danny Pudi, Gary Sinise as the voice of the Captain America Museum exhibit, Winter Soldier creator Ed Brubaker as a scientist, Joe Russo as a doctor, Marcus and McFeely as S.H.I.E.L.D. investigator, and Joss Whedon as an extra at the museum. Whedon also wrote and directed the mid-credits scene.